Hi guys, this is Anonymous with another Warcraft 3 audio commentary. This is on Game 2 of the NGL series between SK and mouz. In case you haven't figured this out, in an NGL, when it's NGL, I don't put the player names in the titles because that would spoil the result of the game, but as soon as you click on the game and look at this description, you'll see which players are in it, and that'll spoil the result of the previous game. So, the spoiler here is that Miou from SK won because he's continuing to play. So not much I can do about that. Sorry, because I do think it's important to have the player names somewhere. But so yeah, if you don't want the results spoiled, just look at the titles. Don't look at the in-depth descriptions of the future games. Excuse me. Um. So yeah, with that out of the way, the previous game was Miou versus Fly, and we saw Fly get a lot of Spirit Walkers, and Miou got a lot of Breakers. And I mean a really huge number of Breakers. Much more than you would expect against an Orc. I mean, I'm not a human player, but I see humans get a few Breakers against Orc. They're very useful. They counter the Spirit Link, and they deal massive damage to the Spirit Walkers. They drain the mana of the heroes. But when you get like 10, 12, 10, 11, 12 Breakers, that I think is quite unusual. I don't see it much. Um, anyway, I mean, Fly he got a Panda too as his third hero. So, yes, Fly went tier 3. Anyway, Fly getting that Panda as a third hero, which is not very useful against all those Breakers, and I guess Miu's strategy was designed to deal with that. Now, both players just scouting here. This is Happy, by the way, in blue Undead from mouz, and of course Miou in red Human from SK. Happy's Ghoul Scout finds Miou here, and so it is a cross-map Turtle Rock. Let's see. What do I need to say about this? Yeah, I mean, it's Human versus Undead. So, Human versus Undead is about Destroyers. And at least that's how I like to think of the matchup, and I'm not a Human or Undead player. But, I mean, I play mostly Orc. But this map is about Destroyers, and... this matchup is about Destroyers. And so we'll probably see the quick tech from Happy unless Miou forces him to do something else by doing something crazy. So Happy not quite yet teching, but I would expect him to be doing that basically right now. There we go. There's his tech. And now Happy harassing with his Death Knight and a couple skeletons and Ghoul. One skeleton gonna die there, which is unfortunate. Okay, actually, somehow, okay, Happy actually denies it. So very, very good job by Happy to keep that alive, and I'm not really sure how that happened. Miou pulled his Archmage away at the wrong second to get a little bite of that experience. Not that it's a big deal. And meanwhile, Happy creeping his turtle camp with his Ghoul, so some multitask creeping going on. Okay, I did not know there was a player called mouz Knowles. That's interesting. Okay, I guess he's not a player. Happy getting Cloak Shadows from that camp. Not very good item, but it might save your Death Knight. Who knows? Now getting a surround on that Footman. So nice job by Happy. Pulls off a surround in the open on the Footman there. Now with his Unholy Aura, thanks to that surround and the experience, putting up a new Rubian Tower in his base and teching to tier 2. He's halfway there. Miou is now looks like he's going to expand, and bringing out his Footman. Sorry, his Militia. His Footman. He's also bringing his Footman, of course, but bringing out his Militia to creep out this Expo. The Death Knight is right there, and so he may lose some peasants here because Death Knight presumably is going to be coil sniping them. Happy looks like he's trying to stay back and conceal himself. Maybe he's going to go for the kill on that Troll Warlord, but good job by Miou to prevent that. Now the Death Knight getting surrounded has to use that Cloak of Shadow, so it is coming in handy after all. Warlord's still alive, and oh, Happy should have coiled the Forest Troll Warlord and gotten the kill. Anyway, Devotion Aura now for Miou, thanks to that item. And Happy's forces are getting a bit separated. However, with Miou forced to divide his attention on the creeps, Not, oh, Tome of Experience. And so the Death Knight is not in the right position to take advantage of any of this stuff. These excellent drops going on, although, you know, Devotion Aura, not the best aura, but still a nice drop. Now it looks like Happy's still trying to come in there and harass. There's only one peasant left. He killed or drove away most of them. I didn't see. He does have a lot of experience on his Death Knight, so he probably got a lot of peasant kills there. Only one peasant left. It's quite low, but Happy's being forced away, so not going to be able to coil that peasant or anything. Happy is now taken to tier 3, by the way, so he is doing his quick tech and trying to get out the destroyers, and I would expect Miou to be putting up towers and in his expansion and his main to try and stop that. Let's see, there was just a bit of lag, that's why the chat messages appeared. And yeah, they're both saying that it's okay to just keep going, so. Yeah, Miou putting up his expansion with 5 peasants, 1 tower only going up, and I'm a little surprised at that. He may put up the rest later when he thinks it's time for the destroyers to come out. But okay, now Happy has hired a panda, coming back with that. I think he wanted to get in on those peasants, but stopped early, just contents himself with a Breath of Fire on the tower and the footman. Panda almost getting surrounded, just getting out. Now the Death Knight may get surrounded, but with that Cloak of Shadows, he might be able to get it to save himself. No, he sold the Cloak of Shadows, so he doesn't have that anymore. Breath of Fire, again, going off on the footman, but still not. I mean, the panda's very low, not going to be able to do much more. Now the panda going way too far in and may get killed here. Oh, 4 health. Oh, getting killed there. So, yeah, Happy sent his panda too far in. Miou killed it. Miou killed it there. Now these ghouls in a bit of trouble. It looks like Miou tried to block them, not too successful at doing that. The Death Knight is here to give them the aura, so they'll probably be able to escape. That one may get left behind, though. Still, no, Death Knight coming back to pick it up. Anyway, Miou's expansion is now in business. No peasants mining from it yet, but it's up. And 3 towers going up there, 1 to guard tower, 2 to scout tower. Meanwhile, Miou's main is still untowered, and sorry. Yeah, I'm just looking at Audacity and seeing that cough made a big spike on it, and I know people have complained about that, but I don't know. Maybe not much I can do about that. Now that Archmage coming in from Miou, just doing a little bit of harassment, he's not even going to be able to draw the Death Knight out. And Happy is at tier 3. He's building his statues. He's got 1 only at this point, but he's upgrading Destroy Form, building a 2nd statue, and Miou needs to hurry up and get those towers up. He is putting them up now. 3 more towers in his main. Not so well placed, in my opinion. They should be closer together, because right now they don't cover each other. Now the Archmage getting surrounded here. And forced to TP. The panda really didn't need to do that. So, yeah. I'm not sure why he Breath of Fire there. It was totally unnecessary. The panda, though, with a mana potion. So, it looks like Happy's going to use... going to try and use this army to do some damage while he waits for his destroyers to get out. And I'm not sure if this is going to work. That's a lot of towers. That's going to be 6 towers there, assuming they all get upgraded. And now, 3 guard towers in Miou's main. But first of all, I think he's left that peasant line quite undefended, and those destroyers could just wrap around the back and kill all those peasants there. We'll see if Happy decides to do that when the time comes, or if Miou puts up more towers. Anyway, Happy now creeping the lower Goblin Merchant, getting the Watcher Ward there. Not that that's going to be that important in this game. Here come the destroyers. There's 1. It's probably another statue being produced, yeah. And let's just check the food count. I assume it's 50 against 50. No, actually, Miou is still at 41 food, and Happy's at 49. And with Undead's very food-efficient army, I'm not sure if Happy is going to be able to rely just on his towers with at this amount of food disadvantage, because those destroyers are going to do some serious damage to the towers. And okay, now but 3 more towers going up. Yeah, Miou looks like he's going to be able to hold this. Actually, Perhaps not. This tower is going to go down, despite the peasant